Hello to the camera deleter. As you can hear from the calls, coos of the peacocks in the background, it's already morning, or close to morning. It's 3:30 a.m. IST. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Today was my last day at the office, and if I had to sum it, the experiences, or rather the conversations that I had today, as I intimated everyone about the fact that I'm exiting the organization, I would place this quote so as to remind myself that whatever I got today should feed my heart and soul and not the ego and mind. The quote is that, well, quote is the same as the title of this video, which is, confidence is the food of the wise man and the liquor of the fool. And it is safe to say that I have a sense of earned confidence today after having gotten reassurance from 3 different department heads that were trying to convince me to stay on at the organization. One of whom told me that I was a real go-getter, that they would be losing out on a good engineer because I'm not taking this job. And it's not so much that I do not believe the image that I hold for myself, but it is that when you hear feedback about things that you've been doing from the world, or rather from the people that you choose to trust in this world, you get the reassurance that whoever you think you are, or whoever you create yourself to be, is in line with reality. That, as we had discussed earlier, it is not a sense of delusion. It's over time, repetition, and work and patience has become a fact. And I'm very grateful for that. Which gives me the reassurance that whatever I set out to do, I will get it done. It is only a matter of me making the decision rather than dilly-dallying it for the right time. And one more very important thing that I'm very grateful for is how spending this time at work, spending this large chunk of my time alive, or rather time awake at work, has given me a renewed sense of gratitude along with a renewed sense of responsibility towards the freedom that I hold over the time that I have right now. It tells me that this time that I hold in my hand like sand that trickles in between my fingers, I have to use and choose it wisely. I have to choose to use it in such a way that I create more of myself. And I'm coming to realize, I'll get to how what connects this realization, but I'm coming to realize that it is through the process of creation, of relentless pursuit, that you find any deeper, unchanging, I would not call it unchanging, but firm meaning that you hold. It is there where you find the character that you are, rather than the one that you claim to hold. And this realization came because I sat down and watched a video that I had recorded earlier of me reading another piece of poetry that I had written maybe a week ago, or exactly a week ago. It was on the 8th of August. And I couldn't help but have a sense of appreciation for how far I've come in terms of being able to articulate myself. And it is then when I realized that you can only get better at a thing if you start doing it and you continue doing it, and you think about different ways of expressing that part of yourself, to the point where whatever your creative medium is becomes an extension of you. It's how in martial arts, when you use a weapon, say a sword or nunchucks or your staff, you view the weapon not as a separate entity, but as an extension of yourself. Now, once you view it as an extension of yourself, there is a world of possibilities that get unlocked. I'm kind of diverging from the point, but the point is that it is only through the process of creation and the process of relentless, repeated pursuit that you find any meaning. And a bit of interesting wordplay that kind of makes this a mnemonic is that they say, or not mnemonic but memorable, they say that life is what you make of it, right? How can it be anything if you refuse to make? So here's me doing the time honored human tradition of creating something. Something that I cannot articulate completely. Something that I cannot explain. Akin to my voice shouting at the void. And and as empty as it may be, shouting at this void, I know deep down it is not the sound that returns that matters as much. Yes, I'm grateful if there is something beyond this, but it is what my voice becomes in the process. And it is what I become in the process. And it all goes back to something I think I keep repeating, which is just the I only know this section of the speech from this actor Ian. Yes, Ian McKellen. And this section of the speech, that famous speech, where he says, I'm paraphrasing here, where he says, create art, write poetry, compose music, make paintings, photograph, not for the output, but for the process of becoming. As unsure as I am about who I am going to become, because the future holds so much uncertainty. The, this process of becoming, of repeated refinement, of bringing forth the image that is in my head, or the vision that is so bright and complete that I cannot fully see it in one go. It is in this process that I find myself to be the most alive. And so becomes my responsibility. It becomes a responsibility onto myself to engage in this process. To engage in this process that is some kind of protest against the decay, against the degradation around you. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I would like to live my life as a celebration of it, as a rebellion against the death. And when death does come, and it will certainly come, when failures do come, and they will certainly come, I shall not go idly. I shall fight. Because it is the fight that is the life. It is the creation that is the life. It is the becoming that is the life. It is the ink, the current, the moment and the process. Or rather, the process in the moment. It is the being that is being alive. And I'm going to stick to that for the time being. So, good night to you, to the camera and to the ether, and fares whenever you watch this. Bye bye.